Welcome back to The Explainer. So today, we're looking at something that completely flips the script on productivity and how we handle stress. You know that feeling when you finally finish a massive project or maybe crush a brutal workout, and the literal second you're done, your brain just shuts off? Well, we're gonna see why that exact moment, right after you finish a hard task, is actually the most dangerous part of your day. And crazy enough, we're gonna look at an ancient samurai secret that can totally transform how your mind works in those moments.
Okay, jumping right into section 1, the danger of relief. So let's start with a universal modern problem that I think pretty much all of us struggle with, whether we realize it or not, and that is the post-task mental crash.
Now, we usually think the hard task itself is the real battle, right? But the source material shows us something totally different. The real danger isn't the work. The danger is actually hiding in that massive wave of relief that hits you right after the work. I want you to be really honest with yourself for a second. What's the very first thing you do the exact second you finish something stressful? Like you finish a brutal workout or hit send on a huge project. Do you instantly grab your phone? Do you just zone out on Instagram? Maybe grab a snack or just completely collapse into a mental fog? Pinpointing exactly what you do in this specific little window of time is absolutely crucial for taking back control of your mind. Because look, most of us are stuck in this exhausting cycle. We grind through a period of intense focus, and then we basically reward ourselves by completely tuning out. We're living on this autopilot loop, super high stress, followed immediately by totally checking out. But according to ancient samurai legend, this exact feeling of relief, that split second where you drop your shoulders and turn your brain off, is actually a massive, literal trap. Which brings us to section 2, Musashi's secret, Zanshin. To really get why this matters for us today, let's look at a pretty wild historical parallel. We're talking about the legendary Japanese warrior, Miyamoto Musashi. Now, this guy was totally undefeated in over 60 life or death duels, and he didn't pull that off just by swinging a sword faster than the other guy. Musashi had this secret weapon, a deeply ingrained mental framework called Zanshin, which literally translates to the mind that remains. While literally every other fighter out there was just obsessing over the physical mechanics of the fight, the actual swing of the sword, Musashi focused on keeping a continuous, unshakable awareness even after he had supposedly won. It's all about what your mind is doing when the action stops. See, Musashi noticed a fatal flaw in other warriors when it came to relief. The warrior wins the duel. The opponent hits the dirt. And then the victor makes a totally lethal mistake. They drop their guard to celebrate or just take a breather. Musashi realized that this exact moment of relief was when they were most likely to get taken out by a second hidden enemy or even by the fallen opponent finding one last desperate burst of energy. So the core lesson Musashi taught is this. The battle does not end when the enemy falls. It only ends when your safety is completely secured. It's a massive shift in perspective, right? Victory is definitely not an excuse to turn your brain off. Actually, victory is the exact moment your awareness needs to be at its absolute sharpest, because the illusion of safety, that is incredibly dangerous. All right, moving on to section 3, the modern samurai. Now, obviously, you and I aren't fighting sword duels to the death today, but let's see how this ancient wisdom perfectly maps onto our modern daily lives. Because the underlying mechanics of the human brain and the real danger of dropping our mental guard haven't changed one bit. We're dealing with the exact same thing, just in a different area. Take a look at this guy from our source material, Lucas. Smart guy, but mentally fragile. He was struggling with the exact same mental gap as those fallen samurai. He'd crush a high-pressure meeting or hit a big fitness goal and then instantly spiral into his phone. Next thing you know, he's off his training for 2 weeks. Because he didn't have the mental structure to hold on to his focus, he was just constantly throwing away all the growth he had just earned. So why exactly does checking your phone right after a hard meeting strip away your growth? Well, when you instantly tune out, you're basically telling your brain that the hard work was just this painful performance you desperately needed to escape from. If your immediate reaction is distraction the second a task is done, your brain literally doesn't integrate the experience into your identity. It just labels the whole thing as trauma that you need to run away from. Kind of crazy to think about it that way, right? Well, Lucas realized he was totally sabotaging himself here. So he decided to stop throwing away his focus and started practicing this concept of Zanshin in the absolute smallest way possible. We're not talking about meditating for 3 hours a day here. He just started using a hyper-focused 30-second rule. And here's how this 30-second rule works. Step 1, you finish the hard task. Step 2, instead of literally collapsing on the floor after your push-ups or instantly grabbing your phone after firing off a tense email, you just stand or sit, perfectly still. Step 3, you just breathe. You pay attention to the strength in your body and you mentally process what just happened. By holding on to that awareness after the action is over, you close that gap. You don't let the distraction creep in. You just hold the space and actually own your victory. Okay, Section 4, rewiring your brain. Now I know this sounds incredibly simple, but the results are actually mind-blowing. Let's pivot from ancient history to modern science for a second, because what Lucas experienced next lines up perfectly with modern neuroscience. By flat out refusing to create those little mental gaps where his distracted self could sneak back in, Lucas developed what the source material calls a monster mindset. This is basically a state where you are always present, always aware, and never, ever disconnected. And get this, within just 90 days of doing this tiny 30-second pause, people at his work actually started noticing a difference. They were saying he seemed different, like way more present, incredibly lucid, and just much harder to rattle. He wasn't even working harder, he just completely stopped escaping. So let's break down exactly why that physical transformation happens. Doing this kind of non-reactive, continuous observation literally rewires your amygdala, the fear center of your brain. By just sitting in the discomfort instead of running away to your phone, you are actively raising your emotional activation threshold. So those high-stress situations that used to trigger a total panic and escape mode, now they just trigger calm recognition and strategy. You're building much deeper mental roots, which is exactly how you become that one person who stays totally chill while everyone else in the room is losing their minds.
Which brings us to Section 5, the 30-second challenge. We've covered the history, the psychology, and the neuroscience of Zanshin. Now it's time to put this ancient wisdom to work in your own life and close that mental gap for good.
All right, here is your challenge. For the next 24 hours, I want you to practice the Zanshin pause. At 0 seconds, the exact split second you finish a hard task, whether that's a tough workout, a super difficult conversation, or hey, even just doing the dishes, stop. From 1 to 30 seconds, just wait in total presence. Do not walk away. Seriously, do not reach for your phone. Then, from 31 to 60 seconds, I want you to really feel that residual energy in your body and your mind. Claim it. Own your victory.
And finally, to really lock this in, I want you to make a public oath. I want you to write, "I will not create a gap today." Type that exact phrase right down in the comments. Why? Because when you declare something publicly, your brain treats failure as a threat to your social standing. That makes you so much sharper when that tempting moment of relief finally sneaks up on you. So drop your oath below, and I'll leave you with this to chew on today. Are you ready to stop living for the escape and start truly living in the present?